Stones. And I guess this week is Kelli Mehan. We decided to lose control. We don't know when this will stop. Just one look and I can hear everything. Just one look and I can hear everything. Whoa, whoa, Mamma Mia. There we go. Yeah, I had to finish that out because
no, that was perfect. I can see our guest in the background already just like screaming internally. Giant smile on their face, screaming up to the heavens. But Brooklyn, we are here at episode 9 of Like 500 Stones. Some of you may already know what the first song we cover is because of the title itself. Cheat codes. Look at the titles from now on.
No, I just see the R on my screen, but now that you've said that, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we are cracking into the 200s this week. We are finally more than halfway there, Brooklyn. I can't believe it.
Whoa! Lemon on a pear. This is one of my favorite things about recording with like Kelli or like Michael or like any of the Australians is that like kind of the people behind the curtain. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I haven't been able to record it in the morning in quite a long time. Just one of the nice little caveats of recording with this crew.
Yeah, it's early for us, but it's late for our guest, one Kelli Mehan. Kelli, how you doing?
That is the best intro I've ever had, ever. It might not ever be topped. And if we were still making things like ringtone, it would be my ringtone. That's amazing. Thank you.
You can still do that. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah, but then it's that thing of when the phone rings and I'll become like jaded against it, you know, be like, who's ringing me? And no one answers their phone anymore.
I mean, after... Yeah, go ahead.
So thank you for having me, guys. I've been dying to talk music with you. I love what you're doing over here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Glad to have you on. So we're going to start where we last stopped off. We had Night Moves by Bob Seger. Kelli, do you have any thoughts on this at all?
I would be remiss not to mention that this is mentioned in the OC, Bob Seger. There's also an amazing segment of 30 Rock where Tina Fey goes, working on my night cheese. So,
I forgot about that. Oh my God.
So Night Moves, I'm more of an old-time rock and roll girl, but great song.
Yeah, totally understand that. But here we go. We're going to end the 300s with, oh, there you are, Rock Lobster by the B-52s. I'm going to start with this one because I freaking love the B-52s. They are such a niche band. I completely understand that. The B-52s are such a niche band. They've got that weird like 60s like surf rock kind of sound to them. Fred Schneider's vocals are just insane. He's not even singing. He's just yelp talking a lot of the time. But boy, does everything just click, especially with this song. Especially the thing that I think really makes this song stand out the most is Ricky Wilson's guitar. Like the moment you hear ding, 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 and the drums come in, you immediately know what kind of atmosphere you're in for, what kind of mood you're in for, like what the song is about. And it is just nuts. It is 7 minutes, but it is some of the most fun 7 minutes you will ever have, especially when you get to that weird breakdown of all the different animals and Cindy Wilson and Kate Pearson, them just impersonating these strange animal noises. It's so wild. It's off the rails, but it's so good. Brooklyn?
Family Guy kind of killed this song whenever they covered it.
That's the reference I was going to make. That's the reference I was going to make. I'm not feeling sad.
Something I learned a couple years ago is that Ricky Wilson is a self-taught guitar player. Like didn't take any lessons or anything, and it kind of makes sense. Yeah. I was just kind of playing around to see like where that riff kind of fits in. It's like E flat. It's like E flat minor. But it has like it kind of feels like it needs to be resolved in C, which I think what makes it really kind of funky and cool. And I love the like quote unquote breakdown of the song when it's cuts to just the guitar and then it's just like it's like here like rock, lobster, and then like this big slide down on the guitar, and then it cuts right back in. It's like weird, and it's like the closest thing to psychedelic surf rock, I think.
Kelly.
Compliment sandwich. The riff is so good that you get to hear it on Panic at the Disco's "Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time."
Oh my
god. Negative. This isn't my song. This isn't my jam. When I first got the list, I saw this is my first song. I'm like, oh god, what am I in for? I had the Rolling Stone 500 CD compilation, like the old list that they released. So I've got a general idea. I've seen a lot of familiar things be popping up. This was on that. I've listened to it every now and again. I guess I got to not be so pretentious and know that there's room for fun on the list. There's room for fun, and there's room for new wave and pushing that sort of thing through. So not mad it's on the list. I think it's a little high, high as in like three, like it's beating out a lot of other good songs. Sorry, I need to use the term low.
Man, this list is high.
It'd be safe to say that they were probably high making this.
Yeah. I do want to end. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, no, this one's not for me.
I do want to end by saying, telling a story about this song. I don't know if this is completely true, but I really hope that it is. Apparently, John Lennon was on vacation with Yoko Ono back when he wasn't really releasing stuff anymore. And he heard this song at a club and apparently turned to Yoko Ono and said, "They're ready for us again." And then started recording after hearing this song. So I legit hope that's true. I don't know if it is, but that's a great story.
Yeah.
Oh, ending my compliment sandwich, the harmonies, the ladies and the harmonies on the chorus, that's also the really good bit. The beef and stews are, great at that.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Finally cracking into the 200s at 299. I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Kelly, what are your thoughts on this?
This is a classic. So happy to see this. Like, this is a Halloween classic. I love that old rock and roll vibe that it's got going. It's that little bit offbeat, and just the guttural sort of screams that come out of it. So when he starts going like, "I love you, I love you, I love," that's my favorite bit. Covered by many people nowadays. Like, this is definitely a go-to cover. You see it on
one of the most competition. Of all time.
Yeah, I'm very partial to the Bette Midler Hocus Pocus version as well.
PTSD from hearing that movie.
No,
you'll see
that movie's amazing. But this one, I think it is a classic, deserves to be on the list. Happy to see it.
All right, Brooklyn.
This one is fine. I tend to not gravitate to those songs that are kind of just like a wall of sound. There needs to be like a progression or kind of like a development, and it's really cool. I admire his talent, and like this is like, you're absolutely right, Kelly. Like, this is one that gets covered a lot. It's still gonna be on every Halloween list. It's just not for me.
I love this song. Screamin' Jay Hawkins is the original shock rocker. He is the original shock rocker. He would enter out of a coffin whenever he was performing. People would be screaming and running down the aisles. And it's just like this weird voodoo-esque kind of performance that he's giving. Like this witch doctor kind of like, it literally sounds like he's putting a spell on this person. And I also, as Kelly said, I love just like the weird guttural throatiness that he delivers this song with. It might be because he was absolutely plastered recording this song, but even then, I don't know if that was on purpose, but it really worked. Thank God. But we also have to give it up for the band in this one. Like, they just chose the right tone. And it's just absolutely its own sound. It's so unique.
That doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
Doom, so good. Gets right into, it's like almost your heartbeat. Like, gets right in there.
Ooh.
I think what makes that backing track work is just how how constant they are, and like it kind of allows Jay to be a little more like loose and free flowing, because then you can always go back to that, like, because like whenever she was doing the beat, all I could hear is a snare like
yeah. All right, with that we're gonna move on to number 298, Jungle Land by Bruce Springsteen. I'm gonna let the insane person go first. Brooklyn.
Hey, do you like Jungle Land? I think you'll really like Walking on Broken Glass. That's like a better pop song with like kind of the same piano-y sort of beat. No, I've realized in this section of the list, that this has a lot of like, or this list in general comes from like an American sort of background, and you have to have almost a little bit of Americana to appreciate people like Bruce Springsteen. Just it's fine. Like, it's not musically bad. Just can't attach to it.
Okay, I respect that. So as the American, I'll go last.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I can relate to that. It is that Americana. It's that working class man's point of view. I wasn't as familiar with Jungle Land, and I talked to my mum and dad a lot, so they might come up because we had a big Friday night conversation about a lot of these songs. And I asked them, I'm like, why have I not heard Jungle Land as much? And they said, because it's the closing track and it's 9.5 minutes. So we're a radio edit family, I think. Like, we're basic. We like our top 40. So this one didn't get played that much. But it is, I was driving to work and listening to it, and it was like half my journey. I'm not a big fan of long songs, but I try to put myself in the mindset of, I love Weezer's Blue album that ends with Only in Dreams. And it's the same thing where like you get singing for that like first couple of minutes, and then you get that long, you get that really long musical break to end the album. And I do appreciate that, because this is the time when you were buying albums and things like that. I'm not saying you don't now, but it's much more singles and top 40 and things like that, and viral songs now, whereas back in the day you bought an album and that was your album. It was expensive and you listened to it from top to start and you knew every track on it. So I appreciate this closing that era out. This list, as sort of Brooklyn saying, is going to be very Americana. It's going to be dominated by Beatles, Beach Boys, Bowie, and Bruce. Like, that's what's going to be covering this throughout this whole list. So to see this on there, not
Wait, half
surprised.
of those people
Like
are
it.
from England.
Oh no, but you know what I mean. Like, it was big in what's big in America is going to be the majority of the list.
Okay, fair enough. As the American in the room, this song freaking slaps. I love this song so much. I think that it's just the imagery that he creates with his lyrics that I think it's a combination of that and the motherfucking E Street Band. The E Street Band is one of the greatest backing bands of all time. I will fight you on this. Because a combination of those two things creates this giant epic scale. It's not the length of the song that does it, in my opinion. It is the music and the lyrics. It creates this giant, almost symphonic, operatic kind of rock song that is just a marvel to listen to. If to all my American listeners out there, if you are having a long drive home at night, I highly recommend putting this song on. It is the perfect song for that kind of situation. All right. So, American rant time is over. We're moving on to the Beach Boys. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Then we wouldn't get demonetized by not continuing on. Brooklyn, let's start with you.
Shout out to 51st Dates. I think the first time that I heard this song in like mainstream culture. Beach Boys are fucking killer for harmonies and like California pop. I like the kind of the tension building in this song, because they slow down quite a bit in the bridge, and then it just like it kind of it makes the intro of the song kind of feel fresh again, like whenever they get into that "Wouldn't it be nice" again. But what I love about the Beach Boys in general is that they take the time to kind of space out their music. It isn't always about telling the story. It's like you could tell like Brian Wilson's kind of like crafting the story, and then to be like there'd be kind of a break in between, and then it'd be like, all right, well, this time to kind of add like the ba 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 ba, which is really like what the Beach Boys were known for sound wise. But yeah, no, this is awesome. Could be a little. I could say this could be a little bit higher, like maybe sub 250, but yeah.
Kelli.
I like this one. I like the Beach Boys a lot. There's going to be more on there. I think other ones probably do deserve to be a bit higher, but this one is this is Pet Sounds. This is the start of it, isn't it? Yeah. So like that's a really nice intro to it. You know, it's very light, it's very airy. But then, like you said, the best part by far is when they really slow it down, and then those harmonies and the high pitch and everything like that. It's really beautiful. So I think that's where this one becomes a little bit more special, because if it had a stay just the Wouldn't It Be Nice bobbing, waving sort of vibe throughout, it would be boring. But because they do give you that little bit of break symphonically, it's lovely. It's a nice song. It's nice.
Yeah, I think this is one of those songs where Brian Wilson was really trying to channel the emotion of the song. And I think the Wrecking Crew was the backing band on this. I think that they were the ones actually playing the instruments. And if I'm right, that just goes to show that more people need to know who the Wrecking Crew are. But yeah, this wall of sound production and the instrumentation and the melody, that incredibly beautifully composed melody, it just creates this absolutely wonderful sound that really does kind of capture that youthful innocence of love. This song is absolutely delightful to listen to. Listen to look up the Wrecking Crew, people. They're fantastic. Number 296, Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill. I'll start with this one. This song fucking rocks. The guitar in this song sounds absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know, like, what setting they put it to make it sound that way, but the crunch in that guitar is just incredible. I'm trying to remember what the name of the lead singer of this band is. I think it's Kathleen Hanna. I could be getting the wrong person, but her delivery on this song is it's just really great. And it's just like this great female empowerment friendship anthem song that has aged incredibly well. Like, it's not dated at all. It still rings true to this day, and there's just like this great anthemic power that just like chugs along through the entire song. Kelli.
Yeah, definitely like this one. I like my early 90s alternative, so this one definitely comes up. Like I said, I think because we still got it captures something about suburbanism. Something in that, so that's still very, very prevalent and something people keep going through. So that's why I think it'll keep cycling around, because it's still very relatable. And like you said, the vocal's really good. I always really do appreciate like a female rock vocal, and she's got power, and it's a little screechy, but it's still somewhat melodic. Like, it's not off like way out, if that makes sense, because sometimes it can get a little high pitched. But this one is always going to be an anthem for like the Riot Girl movement and things like that. And needs to keep coming back, I think, to keep that up.
Mm-hmm. I want to point out one moment of her delivery. Now that you bring that up, I do want to point out one moment of that delivery. It's when she goes, "That girl thinks she's the queen of the neighborhood." Well, guess what? She is! It's such a perfect use of her vocals. Brooklyn.
This song is cool. It's not like I don't think it's great, or I don't think it slaps, but I love the line in the chorus, rebel girl, you're the queen of my world. It's just like it's just a fun little lick and hook. Also good to see long lost cousin that I definitely knew about before just recording this now, Toby Vale, as the drummer of this. Probably not related in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, no, just a fun like 90s art rock song.
Yeah.
I fell for that so hard. All right. Before I embarrass myself any further, well, that's perfect. We won't get fooled again by the Who. God, I hope that's true. Kelli, let's have you start with this one.
As I said before, I'm not a big fan of the long songs, but
There's a lot on this list.
There are a lot on this list. No, because I guess it's Rolling Stones, so you come back to like rock and a lot of prog rock and things like that, and that's all about length. Won't Get Fooled Again is a fine Who song. It's not top tier for me, but the hook in it is really good. So whenever you hear that, and which CSI is this opening? Sorry, all my references are TV related.
We Won't Get Fooled Again is CSI Miami.
Yeah. So like whenever you hear that, put your sunnies on. It's as you said, it's dark today. It's the one time it's dark in Australia, and I can't rock my sunnies. But the song itself is good. It's just not top tier for me.
All right, I'll go next. The Who is one of my all-time favorite bands. They are a top 10 band for me. This is also one of my favorite albums of all time. Who's Next? And I love this song. There's something about just that guttural scream, that just like outpouring of emotion that you can't put into words. Just I can't do it like on call because I'm going to blow out people's ears. I've learned from my mistakes, people. That's why my microphone is all the way up here. But it's the thing I love about The Who is the instrumentation, Pete Townshend's construction of a song. And this is one of those moments where like the synthesizers blend into the guitars really well, and Keith Moon's drums are always amazing. One of the greatest drummers of all time. Rest in peace, good sir. But yeah, it's just the construction of the song and some of the lyrics in particular, like meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Whew, that rings very true when it comes to a lot of things in America, at least. Brooklyn.
Yeah, The Who is a bit all over the place. I was going to say, Andrew, the reason that you have to keep your mic that way is because you're that high on The Who. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But no, I like
Pete Townsend.
I like Pete Townshend's work on this. Like Keith Moon is obviously going to be in that, always going to be in that conversation of greatest drummer. I'm just not sold on Roger Daltrey as a vocalist or as a frontman. Just fair. Sorry.
Okay. Well, at least you kept it short and didn't, make me tear out whatever hair I have left. All right. And with that, before I berate Brooklyn any further, we're going to go to 294, Sweet Jane by the Velvet Underground. Let's start with Brooklyn this time.
This one is fine. This is actually like one of the songs in the mix that I was just like, don't really have a lot to say. I know that Lou Reed is in here in some capacity, but
yeah, fair. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I highly respect this song. I respect this song more than I necessarily like this song. I get why this album and this song in particular were so influential for a lot of people. It makes so much sense to me. And I like the layered vocals that they do on the chorus. It sounds really good. And the lyrics are just kind of like the epitome of 70s New York. But there's just something that it needs, that extra something to it. So I like the song. I respect that it's here. I understand why it's here. So, Kelly.
I think it's a fine song. As you said, it's probably standing for the movement. This being here tells me that I'm Waiting for the Man is coming up, and I think that's the better version of this song. I think that's the one that's got more guts. It's as straightforward as what this is, but it's just got that little bit of the driving guitar and drums behind it more, so as opposed to this one. So this is like an appetizer, not just wait for the entree, that sort of thing.
This would be a really fun song to jam to with like 3 other guitarists, but listening to it, no.
And with that, we're going to move on to number 293, School's Out by Alice Cooper. I know Kelly's super excited with this one, so I'm going to let her go first.
School's Out is an anthem. Everyone's listened to this. Everyone enjoys this. Everyone relates to this. Like everyone's listened to this during their teenage years or school years or something and be like, yes, I'm done with school. Like it just amps you up. We talked quite quickly backstage about Guitar Hero 3. This was on that, so of course I live for it. I like Alice Cooper a lot. I'm worried that this is probably maybe the only one that's going to make it. I was wondering what you guys think.
I like only list, so
I like Only Women Bleed more.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's my favorite, and I want something off Welcome to My Nightmare sort of on the list. But I think if you're going to ask me what's the most iconic Alice Cooper song, then it's this one. So it definitely deserves its placement.
Yeah, it's between this and No More Mr. Nice Guy. But I would this was the one I would pick between the two of them. But Kelly's absolutely right. This is such an anthem, and I think that it's such a great idea to base a rock song around, because it has transcended generations. Like, kids in high school today would probably still crank this song at the end of like the school year during summer vacation, just to be like, "Fuck you, school." Now that the parents have told their kids that they're no longer allowed to listen to this podcast after saying that,
we're now the Simpsons guys that listen to 500 Stones. It's bad.
Speaking of the Simpsons, used perfectly. I think it's season 4, like with the Camp Krusty with Bart destroying the school in his dream.
Oh, yeah.
School's that place. All coming back.
I've only seen like 2 episodes of The Simpsons, so sure, I'll take your word for it. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
Don't watch that Bart Simpson. He's a bad influence. But no, this is fucking like, this is a great song. Dazed and Confused uses it really, really well, among other like coming of age movies. I'll harken back to an old episode of Jeff Are You, because this is the last time that this was referenced. There's a live version of this that needs to be on here. I heard it on the radio one day, and they break, and like during the solo part or whatever, they mash in Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, and it just fits perfectly. It was on like, I think it was on like the Secret History of Rock or like the House of Hair, and they were doing like live specific records. And yeah, I forget where it was, but once I heard that one, like that's the version that I try to go find every time.
I'm gonna be honest, because you mentioned that song, and in my head as I was talking about it, I was thinking Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 is like the yin to this song's yang. Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't be surprised if that shows up later on down the list. Let's see if it's that number 292. Nope. But Can I Kick It by A Tribe Called Quest. Oh. Well, obvious joke escapes right by me. Man, I'm disappointed. You know what, Brooklyn, you start with this one. I'm just gonna take some time off.
This is one of my favorite lines in a Robbie Williams song. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Because it's in Rock DJ. But no. Shout outs to Paul. I think Paul is one of the bigger stands of A Tribe Called Quest. What I love about the song in particular is just the simplicity of it. The verse is just a beatbox and them. Just kind of working around the flow. One of the better samples. I love the bass, like the bass line, how there's one aspect of it that slides down, the other one kind of slides up, and it just keeps things fresh and kind of weird in a way. But no, this is a 90s old school hip hop house party, a staple. It needs to be on your list. Like, you know, if you're listening to Dr. Dre or NWA or Biggie, you gotta have these guys here too.
Yeah, I love A Tribe Called Quest. Q-Tip is one of my favorite rappers of all time, but also much respect to Phife Dawg. Rest in peace, good sir. Like, they're just a group that has never kind of lost their ability, even with their last album, We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service. Just bangers constantly. But this song in particular, it's not one of my favorite Tribe Called Quest songs. There's a couple more that I think I would put above this, but by interpolating Lou Reed again of the Velvet Underground, that bass line from Walk on the Wild Side was such a great choice for this group because of their smooth, like almost jazz style delivery. If only they were able to credit themselves as writers, because Lou Reed is actually the only credited writer because of that sample. But it's a dope ass song. It's like great party chill music. Kelly.
Yeah, I was cooking and I had the songs playing and I freaked out for a second because I was like, I don't Walk on the Wild Side? What? Like, and I didn't realize it was the sample. And then so when I hear it, Can I Kick It? And like the beats going over it, I thought, wow, that's really cool. I think it blends seamlessly. As we said, the use of that sample is very well done. And especially the 2010s really burned me out on useless samples. I always think of like, they feel this moment using Take On Me. No need. Absolutely no need at all. Doesn't add anything, doesn't bring anything together. But
I thought the most egregious use of a sample ever.
Hard. But this, I thought, I guess it's also because you're not using any lyrics or vocal, like you're just using that bass line. I thought it seamlessly fit. And it built something on top of that, which I appreciate. So yeah,
absolutely.
I like this.
If we're talking about egregious samples, sorry, Flo Rida's Good Feeling adds nothing to it.
I don't know about that. That one kind of works. It works better.
Avicii is doing a lot of the work there production wise, and then Flo Rida's just adding lyrics.
Okay, that's very fair. That's fair. But real quick, this song or Walk on the Wild Side? Which would you guys put higher?
Can I pick it?
Yes, you can.
Walk on the Wild Side. I'm always going to lean on like the older sort of the classics. So yeah.
Fair enough. As long as we all agree that the Mark Wahlberg song that uses that sample belongs nowhere near here. All right. Number 291. Hey, I Can Feel It in the Air Tonight. Thank you, Brooklyn. Let's start with you, actually.
Part of me is sad that this is above Hotel California, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, just a lot of like better songs from the decade previous. But if you take this song out of the meme world and just take it for like the song as its own, it's not that bad. It is quite cheesy. But like those big moments do pay off in a vacuum. Like whatever, like the build up definitely works, and just like the production, like the little detail to like what they're adding to the drum kit, especially like in the chorus, the payoff and the ending of this works out great. The setup takes a little bit to get there, but yeah.
I feel angry at everything I just heard. Which is perfect for me because I think that this song captures the idea of anger so well. I think that this song, because that's what this song is about. Because it's not really about anything but the emotion of anger and frustration. Because like lyrically, just like if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. Like, oh my God, that is some lyricism that really puts like the listener into perspective. Like, oh shit. I think that keeping it to just that synthesizer and that 808 for most of the song, for like 75% of the song, was the smart move because it sets up this incredibly tense, dark atmosphere. And then you get the famous drum solo with those compressed drums, and that just kind of explode and propel through the rest of the song, where the rage really releases itself. I think this song is set for this list. It's perfect for this list. I think it should be a little higher, personally, Kelly.
I was surprised by this placement. I would have thought it would have cracked top 50 easily. I'm not saying that's not far off, but like I would have expected to be higher because I do think this is the quintessential Phil Collins song. This is what he's most known for. If you poll people, this is what they're going to put up. The tension building is what I sort of come back to as well, especially in that first half. Like I always think that drum solo is going to come in quicker, and it doesn't. It really, like, I'm getting ready to do it, and like nope, you still got like you get
it's
that
like 2 minutes in.
Well, you get that first chorus where it's not used. and then you get it. Yeah, and it's still just nothing like I've ever really heard of. Like, it's still so unique. It still hits. It's atmospheric. It's great. I like this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was gone. So Kelly,
Okay.
I was actually gonna talk about like we mentioned samples and Phil Collins. Did you ever hear the Bone Thugs and Harmony Phil Collins version of "Take Me Home"?
No, I have not. Do I need to seek it out? Worth it?
Yeah, it's Bone Thugs and Harmony and Phil Collins, and it's just like the chorus of "Take Me Home," and then it's just basically them rapping over it.
Nice.
Also, "Take Me Home" is a dope-ass song. I have not heard that version, though. All right. Before I completely make an ass of myself again, we're going to move on to 290. Brooklyn's just going to do every Lil Jon catchphrase.
Yeah!
Usher.
Yeah!
Bring the beat back.
But yeah, what?
That's what he said.
But yeah, by Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris. I remember it being 2004, and this is one of two songs that absolutely explode onto the scene. You could not escape this song. It was playing literally everywhere. Pop stations, R&B stations, fucking country stations, I don't know. But it was just an explosion moment where Usher had been around before. He had a couple hit songs. This was that kicking down the doors going, I'm claiming my place in pop moment. The moment you hear you immediately know that it's time to go. Usher sounds great on this. Ludacris has got that weird elasticity in his flow that somehow complements the instrumentation, but is also like, hey guys, guess what? I'm going to blow your freaking minds. Pay attention. And Lil Jon, his production's great. He is just like one of the greatest hype men of all time. Like the moment that it's possible that you start losing interest in the song, Lil Jon bursts in through the door, grabs your ears, and just yells, "Yeah!" into them. Kelly.
My sentiments exactly. This dominated 2004. Usher and this Confessions album, because then you get Burn and Confessions Part 2. Like, you couldn't flick any music station on and not see one of those three songs. Like, it was just the whole year of it. So this one is like something ingrained in me. This is year 8 discos and things like that. Because even in the clip, you got the dance moves. Like, it had everything. It had everything you needed to be the popular song of the year. And so I was surprised to see it, because sometimes those sorts of things don't get recognized when it's more a pop culture moment. So I appreciate that. And I like this one. Great.
And Brooklyn.
I love the time period that this song came out. Cause this would have been like grade 6, like junior high for me. And this is like whenever we were starting to go to like sock hops or dances. And like, that was like, you'd listen to like Cotton Eye Joe, Cha Cha Slide, the Chicken Dance. And then you would hear.
Wait, the Chicken Dance?
Absolutely. Grade
Oh
6.
My God. Canada's such a weird place.
You definitely did the most family-friendly dance there. But yeah, then you would hear like this song and in the club, and you're like, oh, we're kind of growing up now. Like, this is gonna be the norm in like 10-ish years or so. But yeah, I love Ludacris' section in this. Like, take that, wind it back. Lil Jon got the voice to make the booty go. And it's just the flow that he has. Also, I think it was watching Hip Hop Evolution. Lil Jon is more than those catchphrases and sayings. He's actually like quite an intelligent musician. It's just unfortunate that a lot of the crowd just remembers him for those kind of meme things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said that there were two songs that 2004 was dominated by. I'm hoping we see the other one later down the line. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. No. We're going to find out later on.
Stacy's
hopefully.
Mom has got
yeah, that's the one. 289 is whoa. Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen. I'll go last on this one because obvious reasons are obvious. Kelli, how about you start this time?
Hadn't heard this one. I'm much more familiar of Born to Run in the early records. My Bruce Springsteen, my favorite song is I'm on Fire, and the other one I like is Dancing in the Dark, because I like to do my Courtney Cox. But I like this one. It is very much go back to the working man sort of coda that we were touching on before, or that real life touch point that Springsteen does so well. So it's great. It might not make my list. Not mad to see it. Good.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, this song is fine. I'm trying to remember. I'm just trying to bring it up for a second so that I can.
That's better than I hear most of the things you say about Bruce Springsteen. So I'll accept.
No,
fine.
to be honest with you, we talk about Dancing in the Dark. That's the Bruce Springsteen song I want to talk about right now.
Sure, go ahead.
But no, I don't want to. That's why. Yeah, no, I just had to get a brief little second there to remember the music. But no, this is like Bob. If you like Bob Dylan, go listen to Bob Dylan. Like it's good guitar and harmonica. But similar to what I said last time, this needs, like, you need to be from America to kind of appreciate this. Like I would love to throw in like Stan Rogers here, or even like Leonard Cohen. I think would be a really, really, really solid pick in this slot. But we don't need that much Bruce Springsteen. This is like the 4th or 5th time now that he's come up. Oh,
and you're probably not even hitting the biggies yet. Like they're coming.
No. Okay, this one's not fair. This is the ultimate cheat code for me because I grew up near Philadelphia where the song opens. I currently live about an hour away from Atlantic City, so this isn't fair. Fun fact, the Chicken Man, from the opening line about how the Chicken Man blew up last night and his house exploded, that was a real thing, actually. There was a Philadelphia gangster known as Chicken Man, and someone put a nail bomb underneath his porch. So, being from around that area, I know about that story. So from that immediate opening line, people like me are hooked. But it's just this great sense of weariness almost that this song carries. And just, I love the sound of this song. The production on the song is fantastic, especially the layered vocals during the chorus, especially towards the end of the song, creates this great heartland Americana, like almost sense of loneliness and ennui. It's a cheat code song for me. It was automatically gonna like sail high into my opinion. So I'm gonna be really boring. 288.
Sorry, one last thing about that song that I do want to say. Similar to the progression they were talking about in the previous song, he doesn't add any progression in this song at all. Because immediately in that first chorus, you get like the dichotomy of his low vocals, but he immediately adds in like that falsetto.
Yeah. No, you're good. I appreciate that. 288. The Funky 4+1. That's The Joint. I'm going to start with the person who their StreamYard title, I wish you guys could see this, is actually The Joint, Brooklyn.
Yeah, this song is fucking incredible. It's going to be up there with like Could You Be Loved and others songs that I just discovered on this list that are going to stay with me. This is long. It can be a little long of the tooth at times. But it's great. I would have loved to have been in a club when the song came out, to like just have like a crowd around you and just dancing to this. I think what what doesn't work about this song is in the middle. They kind of get lost in the beat or the hook to a point where it's like where the actual catch of like that's the joint kind of becomes lost, where it's just like it comes up and it's like, oh, now we have to say this, and then they cut right back into the verse. Whereas like later on in the song, they use that's the joint as like a pivot point to kind of break off into like an instrumental or something. But yeah, no, this is great.
This song is what I kind of want Rapper's Delight to be. Because they're kind of very similar in like their structure of like a group of people just like bouncing their styles and flows off of each other in this great like party track almost. I like this better. I'm glad it's higher than Rapper's Delight, because I gotta tell you, aside from it being maybe 2 minutes too long, the energy in this is just off the chain. Like, this is some of the most fun you will have listening to any kind of song. Like, the atmosphere that they have is like so bouncy and energetic and lively. Can we talk about MC Shaw Rock, the female rapper in this group, the plus one? Because she is amazing. Like, her presence on this song is so necessary. Because otherwise it could get a little stale after a while. But just like everyone bouncing off of each other is amazing. MC Jazzy Jeff, not Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, different people. Their deliveries, I'm just kind of like running around in circles with what I want to say, but this song is just kind of incredible. Once again, maybe 2 minutes too long, but it's some of the most fun you'll ever have listening to a song. Kelli.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard this one before, but I'm always going to have time and space on these greatest songs list for acts that lay the fan work for genres and things like that. I think you need to pay your dues to those sorts of acts that really pushed or innovated and things like that. And that's what this gives me. I do agree it's a bit long, but I can imagine, like, I look at this picture here, it looks fun to like dance to, and it wouldn't be too long if you had people jumping in and showing off their moves and just having a good time. So there's always going to be a time and a place for that. So yeah, great. Liked it.
I want this song to play at more parties that I go to. I'm tired of hearing the same old Pitbull songs. I'm tired of hearing the same old Jason Derulo songs. Put this song goddamn on.
It's funny too. The joint is still a term that got carried on in different spheres. Like in poker, the joint is used as a term for like all like I don't think it's quite like the best hand, but so say I don't like if you're anybody who plays poker, if you have like say 2-4 and the flop comes like 3-5-6. You would have the second best, like you would have a straight, but it would be considered like the joint because it's like a very hard hand to make. But yeah, origins of poker terms that you didn't need to know.
But appreciate.
Yeah,
that's the joint.
It's like saying dominoes and dominoes. You put it down. That's the joint. Number 287. You shook me all night long. By AC/DC. I cut back to our own screen and I see Kelli and Brooklyn just laughing, so I'm going to go first. I like this song. I don't necessarily love this song. I do think it's one of AC/DC's best songs, even though I think Back in Black is the song from this album that I would personally put on this list higher. But it does have this great rhythm to it that is absolutely carried throughout the entire song. Those guitars just are constructed so perfectly. The crunch behind them is absolutely the right tone. And Brian Johnson, I'm going to say it, I kind of like Brian Johnson better than Bon Scott.
It's the morning. I can't be this angry in the morning.
No disrespect to Bon Scott, who was a very, very talented vocalist. There's just something about Brian Johnson's tone that I like a little bit better. But yeah, no, this is a great song. I completely understand why it's on this list. I might put it a little lower in like maybe the 300s, lower 300s, but that's just me. Brooklyn.
Shout out to Jim Green. I believe he had Back in Black on as his album for Jam Session way back in the day. This song is simple to a point where it's almost silly. Because like every electric guitar player figures out this song. It's like one of the first songs that they learn.
It's on that list of songs you're not allowed to play in guitar shops.
It's exactly. This is like this isn't even the best. Like this isn't the best ACD song that I would throw on here. I fucking love like Rock and Roll, Ain't Noise Pollution. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
That song slaps.
If we're going into Bon Scott stuff, I love I've Got Big Balls, The Jack, Dynamite. But yeah,
Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell. But yeah, this is also another one that you could throw on at a wedding, and it's just not going to get old, unfortunately. Everybody can shake it all night long, and yeah.
Except for me, I have work at 5 a.m. So, Kelly,
you should be part of the
night. If this is the reason that I am here, then well played, sirs. Of course, these are my
Australia.
Of course, these are my countrymen. So I am incredibly biased. This is good pub rock. Every Australian knows this. As I said, I've lived overseas for a while, so I've heard many Australian butcher this absolutely wasted. Like, this is just one that just comes out of us. I think it is in the blood. Again, I had dinner with my parents on Friday night, and this is the one that like caused the biggest kerfuffle, because then it was like, well, what was the biggest ACD song? No, they were huge. No, it's going to be Long Way to the Top. No, it's going to be TNT. Like, big conversation about this, because they're like AC/DC are classic rock. They're just great. I really can't say enough good things about them. I did not realize Back in Black is one of the biggest selling albums ever, because I've just lived of it being so popular over here, but internationally, like that did surprise me. This one, I think, as I've sort of been saying all along, it is probably the more famous one. I think if you like gave the Family Feud survey and you asked to name an AC/DC song, I think this is the one that's coming up. So while it might not be the best lyrically or musically, it is the most well-known. So this is the spot it's going to get. But I still get a kick out of this one. I don't get sick of this one.
Actually, that's a good question. Brooklyn, if we were going to Family Feud this and ask what year the first AC/DC song you could think of, what would it be?
Highway to Hell.
Yeah, fair. I would actually go with Thunderstruck. I think
Thunderstruck as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but like you said with the vocalist, like it really is almost two eras. Like you've got your Bon Scott era and you've got your Brian Johnson era. So it's not one or the other to me. It's just different times.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and with that, we're going to move on to number 286, which is Dancing Queen by ABBA. We're also going to save Kelly last for this one, because you thought that AC/DC was the reason we brought you onto this episode. How cute.
You just got pumped.
Oh, bless, because I was like, oh my God, I get AC/DC and Dancing Queen. I thought it was just a happy coincidence. Oh, man. Go.
Brooklyn, how about you start us off with this one?
Oh man, I used to be in the camp of ABBA as cheesy nonsense, and then I started talking to Luca whenever I joined a community, and they were like, no, ABBA's great. And then I threw on Voulez-Vous when I was cutting the grass one day, and I was like, oh shit, ABBA's fucking incredible.
I love that was your awakening moment. You listened to Voulez-Vous while cutting the grass.
Yeah. But no, this isn't my favorite ABBA song. I would definitely throw on Give Me a Man After Midnight. That's just a fucking anthem and a half. But I love the tension in this. And then obviously too, if you heard the intro song, it was kind of like a little foreshadow into this song coming up.
Yeah, which is weird because we didn't look at the list at all. Brooklyn just happened to.
Remember, we Canadian cheated. We knew the song.
Oh my God, you were like the Canadian version of Sam the Eagle. This is how we do things the Canadian way.
No. But yeah, I love the resolve and the chorus, like the harmonies that they pull off. And just that little like the little piano kind of in between is a nice little touch. But yeah, there's Abba's really overlooked in terms of songs, and especially with disco coming back now, people need to go check out the rest of their work.
Yeah, they actually just released something like last year for the first time in decades. Yeah. I really enjoy this song a lot. It's not a song that I feel like I come back to often because it just sounds so unique and different than so many other things that it just kind of like doesn't automatically register with me. But I love this song because of that factor, I think. It's got like this great, luscious atmosphere, but it's got that brilliant, like coming of age feel to it. And in my opinion, first of all, the construction of the song and the construction of most of Abba's songs, genius, literal geniuses of pop music. And the vocals, oh my God, the sound that these two create whenever they're singing, it's unlike anything else. But I will always love this song for arguably having the greatest 2 seconds of music ever, with the piano going ding 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 ding. Like that is just music perfection to I'm going to use a chef kiss here, just beautiful. Kelli.
So track 1, Abba Gold. Like I've been dancing to this in my lounge room with my mum since I was like 5 years old. If she didn't drum into me that I Am Woman is my anthem, then it would have been Dancing Queen. I'm trying to be a little objective from my feelings, but I can't. I'm not even going to be talking about like the composition because you just absolutely nailed it with how this is pop perfection. This is just one that you throw on at a party. Everyone has a good time. I remember dancing. This is my 18th birthday. And it's like, I am the dancing queen. Like, everyone deserves to feel that. I am not a good dancer. I don't believe in dance like no one's watching because I feel like I'm always watching. But this is as close as I get. I really can't say enough good things about Abba as a whole. They were huge here, just absolutely huge in Australia and the UK. So I've just grown up watching Eurovision reruns of them and watching the documentaries and things like that. So I hope there would be more Abba songs. I'm hoping maybe a Mamma Mia might make it. But if not, I would have liked to see this big higher. I'm happy to see pop music and disco music of this time represented because it did for such a long time get overlooked as being cheesy and having no substance to it. And there's great substance to the song, and it's just enjoyable. You can't not put this on and like have a big goofy smile on your face. So I love this song.
Yeah, I've had.
Okay.
I am doing a pretty bad job at this episode today. Thanks for
watching. You're doing much better than I did last week. Your internet is somewhat stable. That's if there's an Abba song that you throw on immediately after this, that's a good 1-2 punch. Dancing Queen and If It Wasn't for the Nights is a great one because If It Wasn't for the Nights pretty well takes the backbone of Dancing Queen but swaps a couple things like the guitar and the piano kind of change out, and it's really cool.
I think on Abba Gold track 2 was Take a Chance on Me. So you go from this to the take a chance. So like you get those harmonies still going.
Yeah.
Also, I know it's probably not going to be on here, but Does Your Mother Know is just it's a fun
so
like rock.
Good.
That one I'm going to have to reintroduce myself to. I don't remember that one.
If you think it's funny, take it easy.
That's great. It's great transition music. Number 285, Say My Name by Destiny's Child. Let's have Kelli start with this one.
This is such a bop. This was 1999. This is peak girl groups, but also sort of introducing something new because we had TLC and No Scrubs. I think that's already come up on the list, so we've already talked about that.
Last episode.
Yeah, but this more merged pop and R&B sort of together. Definitely the breakout song of the group and seeing the superstar that is Beyonce, but you get a lot of Kelly Rowland in there as well. This is one I remember the music video for the most clearly. That's just how we consume. That's just how we consume music most at the time. It was watching the countdowns and things like that because you didn't have streaming and whatever. So a lot of my memories is tied to that. So those bright orange colors and the merging rooms and things like that was fantastic. It is all about that breakdown, like the no seems some things, sun's going down, it's the way it seems. So good. That is the part everyone like clamors to get to. The chorus and such is good, but it's that breakdown that really cements it, as well as towards the end when they do the yes and you do this move. And then you back it up and go the other way. Like I had my birthday party last year and all my family and friends will bust out in that move because there's just something that clicks inside of you with that one. So Say My Name, was very surprised to see it on the list, not upset about it at all. Good piece of pop history.
I feel the exact same way. I am a little surprised that it's on this list, but I'm super happy that it's here. I think this is a good spot for it. Number, what was it, 285? Maybe a little high on the list, but it's a good range for it. This is just one of those songs where like the R&B pop sound, like this is the song I think kind of catapulted that for the next like 3 years. Because there's something about the luscious production, but it's also like super tight and it's a little in your face, but not too much. And the vocals on this, they just fit perfectly into that pocket that the production creates. Yeah, there's just such a, I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but there's just such a richness to it. But it changes it up every once in a while to like kind of take you out of it, but in a good way. I don't really have much to say about this song other than it's dope. Brooklyn.
No, the rhythm section in this is what keeps it going. Like you were mentioning, Andrew, how this is like really tight and compact. It's how the kick and the bass play off each other, because it's always like the kick and then the bass is right after. So it kind of extends it out, but then it also rushes things and I think it rushes it in a good way, especially when you get into that pre-chorus, and because it goes into double time, and you can see like the energy. You see the energy, like pun intended, double in that sense. But like Kelli mentioned, the breakdown works in this, and I think why it works so well and why it stands out from other songs in this time is that that breakdown was often a time for the group to dance. And oftentimes that music gets forgotten, but it works in this. It works in this for some reason. And then like when she comes in with that like say my name, and it just cuts right back in, and it's just like it's one of those tropes of the time of like cutting everything out and then just putting it right back over, and it just sounds fresh again. And this is the best Destiny's Child song. I'm not surprised that this is on here, and I could argue that it could be higher.
I think the thing that I was trying to think about earlier was this cut the bullshit attitude that this song has. Like they're calling him out, and it feels like they're calling him out in front of their friends and family. Like say it. But it's so.
It's definitely like subject matter you didn't pick up on at the time, like being younger, and then it's when you sort of get those teenage years and you're like, oh, that's what I'm saying. Like you're just saying the words rote, not actually understand.
Right. You're not even thinking about the context. Absolutely. Moving on. Speaking of context, Leonard Cohen's Suzanne, a song where the context is the most important part of this one. Because this is, I have always said that piano ballads and guitar ballads are designed for the purpose of the lyrics being up front and center. And that is exactly what happens with this song. It's like this almost forbidden love kind of song, but at one point it takes a very biblical reference and it makes it work incredibly well. I think that Leonard Cohen is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. This is one of those songs that he kind of got introduced to a wider audience with, and it's because of that incredible lyricism with such details. Like there's a line about having oranges straight from Mandarin or something like that. That just immediately like your ears pick up on because it's so rich and dense in its detail. This song I think is beautiful, and it's one of those songs where it kind of stays on the same like note for the entirety of the song, but it's the craftsmanship and the lyricism and Leonard Cohen's rich, deep, buttery vocals delivering those lines that really make the song something special. Kelli.
This song's lovely. I'm definitely a person who gravitates to lyrics first before melody, and this song is poetry. It actually is. I like, you know that she's half crazy, but you want to be there. Like, it's just things that you would write down, like in a notebook or in a journal, and it's put to this beautiful music. This is definitely one that I'm going to keep coming back to again and again. I think it's just really lovely.
Brooklyn.
This song took a weird turn to topical and personal lately. I've heard this song before. Like I was introduced to this song in college during my internship. I had a cook friend that was big into like Leonard Cohen and Bob Dylan, and I think this was the first Leonard Cohen song that I had really like was able to attach to him. This is not the Leonard Cohen song that I would throw in this range. I would probably throw on Marianne. I think it has. I like his more upbeat kind of stuff, and it has kind of a whimsy sort of play to it. I do like the kind of. It's like melancholic sort of draw. I think Andrew was kind of hitting on it earlier with like that one sustaining note, and it kind of that's kind of equating to like the tone of the song and how it never really strays far. This is weirdly personal in a way, like the chorus in this, and you want to travel with her and you want to travel blind, and then you know that she will trust you for you've touched her perfect body with your mind. It's just like it's so fucking weird, and listening to this in the time frame that I have now, it's it's cool.
Yeah. I'm so happy that it's at this placement. I'm really surprised that it's at this number, but I'm so happy that it is. It's also just weird going from Say My Name to Suzanne. It's just like, the tonal whiplash is amazing. I love it. Let's see if it happens again. Number 283, Georgia on My Mind by Ray Charles. Brooklyn, let's have you start with this one.
This song is fine, but what I don't like about it is the production value.
My God!
The wall of sound works, but not necessarily with Ray Charles. I like when he's kind of at the front, and when this song gets mixed, he's kind of put towards the back.
Okay, fair. Kelli.
So I've grown up with my dad playing piano my whole life. There's always been a piano in my house. There's always a piano in his house, my house, things like that. So, and this is one that is synonymous with my dad. I can hear when I hear the version of Ray Charles playing it, like I hear my dad, and just because he's not playing the lyrics, I've grown very attached to melody and all the interim parts of so when he says "and Georgia," and then you just got that little piano twinkle, like that interlude. I love that. It's beautiful. It's definitely one of the most beautiful songs I've written. It's one of my favorites. I think it's lovely. The vocals on this are so warm and inviting. And then you've got the backup vocals that are doing those lovely harmonies in it. I think this is fantastic. Stunning.
Frank Sinatra said that the only musician that he would ever truly call a genius was Ray Charles. And I can completely understand that, because Ray Charles had this superhumanly uncanny knack for taking other people's songs and not only making them his own, but elevating them to a level that like you would not imagine. And this is one of those moments, because I've listened to the Hoagie Carmichael version. It's really good. But as Kelli said, there's something about those backing vocals and just the little flourishes and just Ray Charles' soulful, smooth delivery, and those strings. Oh my God, the strings in this song and where they are in the mix is so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful songs you will ever listen to. And I'm going to stop gushing about this, and we're just going to move on.
If there's two other things that I want to bring up, because I just reading it now, because like oftentimes like through this whole series, I think a lot of our listeners don't really like read where there's a figure there, like this section here. But I want it to be known that this song debuted on Playboy Penthouse. Let that sit in for a second. This sweet song that's debuting at fucking Hugh Hefner's house. Also, Randy Newman takes a ton of inspiration from this song.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Man, I'm not going to be able to listen to most Randy Newman stuff now the same way.
Glass shattered.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to number 282, Never Tear Us Apart by Inxs, another Australian group, actually, now that I think about it. Wow, we Brooklyn, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We picked the exact right person to be on this episode with us.
We are the sommeliers of music guest people, guys.
Freaking brilliant. I'm going to start us off with this one. I like this song. I just don't think it's the Inxs song that I would pick to put on this list.
What do you put on then?
Oh, Need You Tonight. Like the yeah, amazing. But I understand why this song is on here, because it does have this epic, almost like rock arena, almost blues kind of sound to it, because it's got like the classic blues chord structure, like piano chord structure. And what, Kelly, what's the lead vocalist name for Inxs?
Michael Hutchins.
Thank you, Michael Hutchins. Man, that dude could sing. Like, that dude was honestly one of the most underrated vocalists of the 80s. Because there was such a rich butteriness to his vocals. And so I really like this song. It's just one of those songs that I've kind of heard the structure of so many times that it kind of falls into a lane for me. So I really like this song. It's just not necessarily the one that I would pick. Brooklyn.
This is a great song. This is a great Inxs song. That lane of songs that you're talking about is Call and Answer. Bare Naked Ladies do that style quite well, and Inxs is doing a really good job of it here. In particular, the chorus. And like you hear the song used like. Yeah, when that when the song came on, my first thought is that this gets used quite a bit in like figure skating and like ice dancing, because it kind of does a really good job of like taking those like two separate lines but then coming back together. And in particular, when it's like I was standing, you know it's true, you were there, and then in the backing you hear worlds collided, and then Michael comes back in like two worlds collided, and I think that works really well. They did try to replace him with a Canadian, JD Fortune of Nova Scotia. They had one good single, but that was unfortunately about it. But yeah,
rest in peace, sister.
But like the pay, like the ending of the chorus, and then how they kind of reintroduce that intro with the little guitar, and then they cut into that like big sax solo, and it's so good for 80s trends. Like it was the best trend to kind of follow.
Kelly.
Obviously, I've grown up with Inxs everywhere. It's used in all our commercials and all our programming, things like that. So I think this is the one that does stand above. I like Need You Tonight, but I agree this is the one that's doing something different. I really appreciate you saying that Michael Hutchins is an underrated vocalist, because I think he's one of the best vocalists. Like, that's a voice that hits straight to my heart. It's just part of our landscape at this point. Kick was huge. Kick was such a big album, so of course you're going to have something off of there. I like that he's got those soaring notes, and then it cuts and you get that banana bum 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 bum. Oh, so good. And of course you get your 80s sax solo with Kirk Pingley, I think it is. So good. Such an underrated member of the band. But Inxs, give me the feeling that I get when I listen to the Beatles, in the sense that every now and again I'll gravitate to a different song from a different era. That's what it gives me. There's Inxs go through different eras in their album. So I'll be like, oh, I'm digging the early stuff with Don't Change, or I'm digging this, things like that. So it is hard to pick just one. I think this might be the only one that will make it. I can't see anything else, but I would love to see Need You Tonight. I'd love to see New Sensation, or I think By My Side is one that maybe didn't get as big.
Shut up.
Because I would like to see something more upbeat as well to accompany this.
Yeah, I forgot about New Sensation. Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself. All right, 281, Grinding. Man, my white side came out. By Grinding by Clips. Kelli, let's have you start with this one.
Yeah, obviously, very influential in early 2000s hip hop, rap, R&B, that sort of vibe. You've got the production from Pharrell, which is a bit of a stamp. You know, it really comes through. I think it's fine. I haven't dove deep into the genre, so I'm not an expert, but it's good. Maybe it would make my list, but as I said before, I'm always going to be here for people that are being innovative or pushing something a little bit different vibes, different feelings for a genre. So yeah, it is.
Yeah. I get why it's on the list. I think it's high though. I think that this is like a really high placement. Because like, once again, I think it deserves to be on the list because the Neptune's production on this is great. I can't think of what instrument it is, but it's the I can't even remember the melody right now, but that sound is implanted in my mind now. Pusha T is actually one of my all-time favorite rappers. Like, there is something about the control that this man has on a song. Like, his presence is so it grips you. It's almost like it's gripping you by the throat and forcing you to listen to him. And he and his brother they do sound great on this song. It's just a little high compared to some of the songs that it's above. Like, this is above things like California Dreamin' and Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. They Reminisce Over You. It's above California Love. So I'm fine with it being on the list. Just this is kind of an odd placement for it, in my opinion, though. Brooklyn.
I like this song, but I think this song got done a little bit better in 2004 by Jay Quan when everybody in the club got tipsy. Everybody in the club get tipsy. Because I believe the beat from this song got sampled onto there. And every time I hear this song, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to listen to Tipsy now. Pharrell's an incredible producer. Pusha T is really good. I'm trying to find the name of the rapper that kind of sounds a lot like him. Because I think he's that, or yeah, Pusha T's his voice or his delivery is carried on into other ones. There's a particular rapper that's on with he collaborated a lot with Justin Timberlake, and this it's like and I think he was also with Pharrell. It's like Like I Love You. It's the rapper that does a verse in there. I'll try to find it later. But yeah, just
yeah. I once again, I think that this song is what kind of pushed the sound of R&B and hip hop like later on down the line. So I completely get the influence and I completely understand why it had its impact. Yeah. Once again, like the song, but 281. All right. As we move on to 280, Penny Lane by the Beatles. Brooklyn.
I have heard this song be described before as the perfect chord progression. There's a guitar guy on YouTube that kind of breaks the song down beautifully. And I think why he's kind of right in a sense is how it uses thirds to kind of like work down, but then in the same way, like whenever they end that line, it kind of sets it up where it feels natural to go back up top. So it just creates that perfect loop without having it end on the same end and begin on the same note. But yeah, this is I would also say this is one that is overlooked in terms of like Beatles singles. Not one that I would put in my top 10 Beatles all time, but I respect it.
Kelly.
I find this song so overrated. I'm sorry, I don't like it. It's not the one that I'm picking off Magical Mystery Tour. In the same way we were talking about Wouldn't It Be Nice before, it's same in tone to me. It's very light, it's very airy, but at least in Wouldn't It Be Nice, you have that breakdown and that slowdown, things like that. There's nothing too Penny Lane for me. I really appreciate what you were just saying, Brooklyn, about the chords progressions and the musical composition side of it. I think that's great. I think lyrically, there's no meat and potatoes. There's nothing for me there. I go see like Beatles cover bands, and all the crowd loves singing this one. I'm like, it just doesn't do it for me. No, but great name for an almost famous character.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. You know what? The name of the character might be better than the title of the song. But I really like this song. It's a very pleasant song. It just kind of exudes pleasant childhood memories almost. And I think that's what Paul was going for when he wrote this. Yeah, I mean, like, I really like this song a lot. I don't remember if I put this in my top 10 Beatles songs. I don't think I did when
I don't think you did either.
Yeah. But I get it. I get it. I like the song a lot.
I mean, of the songs, like, because Kelly mentioned that this is the one that she wouldn't put on Magical Mystery Tour, and I just kind of quickly looked that one up. How do you not put on I Am the Walrus on this list?
I'm the Walrus, Strawberry Fields, or Hello Goodbye. I would put over this.
I mean,
Hello Goodbye, absolutely.
You say goodbye, and I say hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I don't know why you say goodbye, and I say hello. Sing along time with 500 Stones.
I will say this is the first Beatles song we've had since Help, which was in the 400 range.
With Coho, yeah.
With Coho, yeah.
Heaps more coming in.
Oh, absolutely. If there's not at least like 4 more, I'd be surprised. Number
dude.
Number 279, Karma Police by Radiohead. Some would say the 90s version of the Beatles, Radiohead. Oh, wait, there's Oasis. No, we'll talk about that later. I'll start with this one. I love Radiohead. Not all of their experimentation works for me sometimes, but this is one of those songs where just like I don't know what it is about that dark, gloomy atmosphere that I love with this song. And there are some lyrics in this song, like I can't remember the exact lyric, but there's something about like the humming of a refrigerator or something like that that was just so rich. Tom York on this song is just incredible. He's got such a unique vocal timbre to him that when he is mixed perfectly with like incredible instrumentation, it's unlike anything you will ever hear. And it's just one of those songs where, and the outro to this song with, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that sound is. I don't know what that's coming from. But this almost like screechy, siren-y kind of outro that whirs down like an Android or a computer just like going down. I don't know what it is, but just sonically, this song is amazing. Kelli.
I like that you mentioned that outro because they pair it with the most lilting, like da da. So it's not grating. It doesn't hurt your ears, like because it softens the blow almost a little bit. Radiohead are great. I only know probably more like the hits. I haven't done my big album dive, but what I hear, I love to pieces. I think everyone sort of starts with Creep. Creep's usually your gateway Radiohead.
Yeah, and it's their most hated song. They hate that song.
And that's what's so funny as well, that always comes up and comes around. But that is like your teenage angst song. Everyone's had a moment to that song, I think. But then you really start to listen to the other hits. This one, High and Dry, Fake Plastic Trees is in my top 5 songs ever. I hope that makes the list. But Karma Police, as you said, it's so atmospheric. And there's something just about the way he just effortlessly like ebb and flows his voice. It goes up really high, and then that chorus comes down. It's like, this is what you get, and it's so low. And then when you mess with us, and it's like a whisper, like it's almost threatening, but it's still pleasant to listen to. It's like you're being pleasantly threatened in a weird way. This song's great. Good choice.
Real quick before we move on to Brooklyn, I finally got to look up the lyrics. It's literally in the first chorus, the one I was trying to think of. It's he talks in math, he buzzes like a fridge, he's like a detuned radio. My God, what brilliant lyricism. Brooklyn.
I think I've talked about this before. I was a little too young to get into Radiohead. Like I remember being like in grade 4, grade 5, and then it'd be like the junior high kids are like, man, you need to check out Radiohead. And I think it was just that stigma always surrounded by them of like these guys like were the hipster band to kind of check out. This song is really cool. I love the rhythm section in this. Very like Tom Petty-esque in a sense. But like you guys mentioned, like the atmosphere it builds in this is really incredible. That sound at the end, Andrew, I think is just a guitar with a bunch of effects on it. I was trying to find where they would have done it, but yeah, it works. I'm probably going to attach to it later on, but I don't know. I can't find that thing yet.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully you do. Let's see if you felt the same way about 278. Pressure Drop by Toots and the Maytals. Brooklyn, did you have the connection with this one?
I did not have the connection with this one Pressure Drop. This is like kind of like what you were mentioning with before, Andrew, like songs that this got over. Like I would put Could You Be Loved over this song, and even if we're talking about like reggae, like this is definitely like a vibe, and I could kind of see why it made the list for that reason. But yeah, kind of has you scratching my head as to like this made it over what songs.
Fair. Kelli.
This is probably a bit high because there's not like a lot of lyrical substance, but what's there is great. And I just mean that in the sense that you're getting a lot of the same lyrics repeated. But I like that you say it's a vibe because that's the exact way I was going to describe it as well. Like it's got that reggae, smooth vibe. I don't know a lot about this song. I can't critique, but I enjoyed what I heard. Am I going to go back to it? Probably not, but at least it's only 2 minutes 30. So I enjoy those 2 minutes 30.
This speaks to my ska heart. Like, especially when it starts to like ramp up just a little bit towards the end with like pressure drop, oh pressure drop, oh pressure, a drop on you. Oh my God. Yeah, there's like, I don't know. I can't really talk a lot about this song because there's not really too much to it, but I can totally see how this would influence like ska groups like No Doubt and Madness. And once again, it kind of speaks to my ska heart because of that. So I freaking love this song. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would never put it in my personal like top 100, but like this would probably be the same spot on my top 500 overall. So moving on to number 277, Bo Diddley by Bo Diddley. Arguably the most famous song titled after the artist making it, which if Bad Company doesn't make the list, by Bad Company, then what are we doing? I think this song is fine. I think this song is good. Lyrically, it's super simple. Even melodically, it's actually super simple. I do kind of like the twist towards the end of the song, but I think the strength of the song is the instrumentation, especially the guitar. Oh my god, the guitar sounds amazing on this song. But I don't know. It's good. I don't think it's that great though, other than the instrumentation. Kelli.
I was shocked to see this at 277 because I feel like this is one that is very much lauded like as a classic. Like I said before, I had the previous top 500 on CD and really enjoyed it then. I would be very interested to see if this is higher or lower, because I found this to be like I would have thought, if you asked me where it was going to be, I would have said a top 100. Like, maybe it's not my personal top 100, but if for a Rolling Stone 500 greatest songs, I thought this one had so much gravitas and weight and story and things behind it in the foundation it laid and how sort of historic it is. I enjoy the song. I like the song whenever it comes on. Great. That guitar and as you said, the instrumentation is groundbreaking. It's phenomenal.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, you guys hit it right on the head. The guitar work and the guitar riff in general. That strum pattern is what keeps it on here. And like, this is kind of like, because whenever this first came up, when it first came up, I was like, wow, what a pretentious person to name a song after himself, and then also just name the record Beau Diddley. But yeah, no, it's cool. While you guys were talking, I was looking up songs that were kind of influenced by this. And like I Want Candy came up, and I was like, that riff makes sense.
Yes.
And George Michael also uses it for Faith, and I think that's another really good use of that riff. But yeah, this could also be used as one of the first songs, I think, to maybe use effect on a guitar. I feel like he's using like delay or something. But maybe that's what it is. Obviously, like there wasn't a ton of experimentation during that time of the 50s. I think then it was just a lot of like, oh, we can amplify the sound. But no, unfortunately, I could see this one falling down the list to like maybe in like the 360, 370-ish mark. For even like, I could see George Michael's Faith maybe taking like kind of like seeping in there, but you never know.
Yeah, it's a song that I think could grow on me, but I don't know. I did look at the original list. Guess where the song was on the original list?
Top 100.
Yes.
I'll take the under on top 100.
It is. It is in the top 100. It was number 62.
Wow.
This is a massive, massive drop since then. Yeah.
I would be really interested, like when the AFI did their 10 years later list, and you could actually see like the plus minus where things landed and what was new to the list. I'd love if they did something like this for this.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of songs that seem to be falling off each musical generation or each decade that sort of comes along. There's ones that will sustain, maybe like Pink Floyd and Rolling Stones, but then I never hear anyone talk about like Peter Frampton and Frampton Comes Alive and that sort of thing. So like there are those ones that sort of fall off, and maybe that's what's happened to this.
Ooh,
something
baby,
else has
I
come
love
along.
your ways.
Is that Peter?
You get what I mean in the
Frampton?
general sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 276, our last song of this episode, actually. Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You Shouldn't Have by the Buzzcocks. I'm going to start with Kelli on this one.
I think this would be one of my most played songs on my iPod for sure. It's everything I love about early punk rock, being short, fast, loud. It's just got everything you need in a good, laying the foundation for the punk genre. It's that British invasion-y sort of feel as well. It's great. Just great, quick, fun, good song.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I would describe it. It's very, like, looking at the title, it's very straightforward. It's very straightforward what this song is about. But yeah, the vocals on this are great. They kind of have that Brit snottiness to it that really really help. And the instrumentation is really fun. It's got this great electric energy to it that's incredibly infectious. And the melody really does stick with you a lot. Yeah, this song is just a blast. It's a ton of fun. There's a ton of energy. It's a shot of adrenaline. And it's something that a lot of people can relate to. So I can see why this song has aged so well. Brooklyn.
No, this song is fucking cool. Whenever I heard this song, I was like, oh, so this is kind of like where Police got their sound. Because a lot of this is like that Police sort of mentality of even post reggae and kind of like how that kind of came into the punk scene at the time, and then because it's basically them, and then like you get harmonies in this as well, and they work in that sense. But yeah, this record and Police's Outlandos to More debuted in the same year. So I think it's just really cool for like what was happening at that time and like who and like the sounds that were kind of coming out, because this one's gonna stay in my like on repeat or like most like songs for Spotify.
Yeah. All right, and with that
we're done. Andrew's finally kicked out. He's on timeout. I get to lead the outro. So what we do for the end of every show is we go around and we get what people think should be in the top 100. Kelly, I'm going to start with you. What do you think should be in the top 100?
God damn it, I ruined it again.
Don't worry, Andrew. I got you. I got you.
Very well it comes down to either Dancing Queen or Georgia on my mind. For me, that's a very hard choice because it's apples, oranges. You've got either like a very beautiful, meaningful, in-depth classic song, or you've got something that really helps solidify a genre in disco and great pop. But I mean, how can I not be introduced to Mamma Mia and not push ABBA all the way to the top? It would definitely make my top 100 easy, hands down, any day of the week. I love Mamma Mia as well, so I'm hoping to see that later.
All right, I'll go next. This is an interesting section of the list because there's a lot of songs that I think deserve to be this high on the list, but I think they're right where they are. So I think the one that I would probably pick is I'm going to go with In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. I think that just the tension and the sound and atmosphere that song creates is just an explosion of internal emotion. I think it's just incredible. In Brooklyn.
I'm sorry. No, that's all right. Say My Name is the one that I would put in the top 100.
Nice.
It's R&B gold. And I was kind of sad that you mentioned In the Air Tonight, because if there was one song that I would put that I would make lower, it's actually that song.
Wow! Oh my god! But this is why
I think that song will inevitably lose its touch.
Wow. All right. Well, this is why we're the perfect co-hosts, because we have such different opinions sometimes, even if you are certifiably insane. But Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on. We love having you so much. If you guys don't know, Kelly has a podcast as well, Talking Disney. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I just launched my podcast, Doing Disney. It's been a dream of mine for a very long time, and it's going incredibly well. I'm having a blast with it. Please check it out. I take a deep dive into different Disney movies, and we talk about like favorite characters, favorite scenes. I want you to listen along and pick your favorites along with me and interact. So I'm having a real good time with it. Thank you for mentioning.
Of course. Brooklyn, we did it. We got through another episode somehow, even with me having fat thumbs. Our producer man couldn't.
That's Domino.
Our producer man, our super secret producer man, couldn't be here today, so I had to fill in. But so thank you all for joining us. So for Kelly, for Brooklyn, and myself, keep on rocking, guys.